Hello ladies and gents, once again my name is Mambo Ismail. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. In case you haven't subscribed, help me subscribe it, like, comment and share my videos with the friends so that they can also have some content of what the video is all about. So in today's video tutorial, I'll be taking you through published information sources. As you can see in slide 1, this one is the presenter, that's me, Mambo Ismail Jamal. This is my telephone number and my email is here. So let's go to the next slide and see what is there. Here it is the definition of published information source, and by definition, it is a document or medium made available to the public, offering validated or compiled information. So that definition is brief. Let's go to the third slide. And in third slide we have the landscape of published information. So here, what is a source? A source is any entity or document that provides information to help you answer questions, if at all there are many. So here key classifications or the types of information sources. Here they are typically categorized by their originality and their proximity to the original event or data. Here, why it matters, or the uses now, what the uses of information literacy. Here, understanding the type of sources help you determine its reliability, bias, and the depth, not this other depth. So let's go to the next slide, and there we have the first handout or the first hand account or the primary source. Yeah, these are original materials that provide direct evidence or first-hand testimony about a topic. That's the definition of primary source or the first-hand account. For example, in science, original research papers, lab notebooks, and the patents. In humanities, we have diaries, letters, photographs, and manuscripts. Then in media, we have the speeches, raw data, new reports, etc. or etc. and so on. So in slide 5, we have the interpretation and the synthesis. That's the secondary and the tertiary sources. Remember at first here in slide 2, in slide 3 we looked at it. In slide 4 we looked at the primary source and we defined it as the original materials that provide direct evidence or first-hand testimony about a topic. And here in slide 5 we are looking at now the secondary and the tertiary sources. So let's look at them, we define them. For secondary sources, this interprets, analyze, and summarize the primary sources such as textbooks, biographies, scholarly review articles. Then tertiary sources, this compile and index primary and secondary sources. It helps now to compile the primary and the secondary sources to provide a broad overview such as encyclopedia, dictionaries, and others. Excuse me for that. This word is encyclopedia. Then in conclusion, secondary sources are used to see how others have interpreted data, and the tertiary sources, tertiary sources are for background information. So let's go to the 6th slide, and that's the last slide. Here it is actually about how we can evaluate your sources. How to evaluate your sources, let me say. To ensure sources are credible, put it through the CRAP test. And this CRAP here is actually the abbreviation of how you can evaluate your sources. If you happen to master this abbreviation, then you cannot be defeated in how to evaluate your sources. So the first letter C stands for currency, and in it is the information timely, when was it published, and the last updated. Actually, the currency it talks about is the information timely, when was it published, and or last published or updated. R stands for relevance. So in it means, does it directly relate to your research question? The third one is authority. Who is the author or publisher? What are their credentials? The second S stands for accuracy, of course. This is the content supported by evidence. Can it be verified elsewhere? And the last letter, that is purpose, and it is all about why was it written. Why was it written? Or is it underlying bias or goal to persuade? So members, if you happen to store this, if you happen to master this formula here, you will know how to evaluate your sources, and you will not be defeated. Thank you for watching my video. Let's meet in the next video. Okay, if you didn't subscribe to my channel, kindly subscribe to it so that you can keep getting more of the videos about information literacy. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thanks.